It is clear the Democratic Party has completely lost their grip on reality. Let's start with prices and inflation. Take a look at your screen. Oh, look at that right there. You see the red on your screen right there? That is inflation, the inflation rate under Donald Trump. The blue is the inflation rate under Joe Biden. Well, you can see what Donald Trump inherited, despite the very obvious fact that costs went through the roof under the last administration. Democrats, they are trying desperately to blame Trump for the affordability crisis. House Speaker Mike Johnson calling out this nonsense, these outright lies. Take a look.
They broke the economy, and now they want to lecture to the American people about affordability. They opened our borders, and now they want to lecture to the American people about immigration border enforcement. They broke the American health care system. They caused premiums to skyrocket. And now they have the audacity to tell Republicans that the only way to save it is to throw hundreds of billions of dollars to health insurance companies, which would merely fuel a system that is rife with fraud, waste, and abuse. You cannot be an arsonist and a firefighter at the same time. That's the message for the Democrats.
Now, you don't need to take Speaker Johnson's word for it. Here is CNBC. Take a listen.
The affordability issue is from the 22% increase in prices and inflation under Biden. There's just full stop right there. That's the affordability issue. And you ought to be able to explain that better.
Right. That's right. And look, I think that with the economic team, President Trump and the economic team led by Scott Bessent, you have people who very much understand this. And it was they were thrown, what I would say, the worst economy for the average American in my adult lifetime, in terms of like you said, the incredible increase in prices at the household.
Now, take what you just heard from CNBC, Speaker Johnson, and compare that to the economic nonsense being spewed by the Democratic governor, Kentucky, Andy Beshear. This guy likes to portray himself as a moderate Democrat, which he is not. Take a look.
Does the former administration deserve at least some of the criticism?
Well, the former administration was attempting to build the economy of tomorrow, investing in really important industries like EVs, in chips, in areas for our national security that we've got to catch up with the rest of the world.
Were they successful at that,
Governor?
Governor?
Have said that the Biden administration was building the economy of tomorrow, focused on EVs, chips, and other areas that we have to catch up in for our own national security. But our families, we're saying we need the economy of right now.
All right, Andy Beshear has no idea what he's talking about. It was an unmitigated disaster. He's making lazy excuses for the dumpster fire that was Joe Biden's economy. At the same time, the Trump administration now is actually making progress cleaning up Joe's mess. Everything now is stabilized across the board. Wow, have you been filling up your gas tank lately? Gas prices are at a 4-year low. That is the lifeblood of the world's economy. Rent nationwide going down. Interest rates, again, today going down. Taxes are going down. The largest tax cut in history. No tax on tips, overtime, and Social Security. Trillions of dollars committed to American manufacturing that has never happened in history. And the president is only getting started. Meanwhile, Democrats are getting totally exposed. They voted, let's see, against working men and women by voting against no tax on tips, voting for the largest tax increase in history. They voted to keep taxing Social Security on the elderly, retired with the Inflation Reduction Act. They accelerated inflation to ungodly numbers because of their Green New Deal insanity and those regulations. They drove up motor vehicle costs, restrictions on energy. Well, that drove up the price of every gallon of every gasoline you bought the last 4 years. And then, of course, they left the border wide open and dumped millions of unvetted illegals into this country, also into our housing market, driving up rent prices. It is clear Democrats caused America's cost of living crisis, the affordability crisis. They caused it. And now that President Trump is making serious progress fixing their mess, Democrats are angry. They're lashing out. In other words, Democrats don't really care about inflation. They only want you to hate President Trump. For them to be successful politically, they want the economy to fail. And by the way, here is the always hateful left-wing podcaster Jennifer Welch. She kind of embodies what a lot of Democrats think.
It's wild how rural America, like they believe that land, votes, and they don't understand that they're being taxed at a higher rate than somebody like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, who I want to remind everybody that's against immigration is a immigrant. I just think it's really important that we remind everybody all the time that Elon Musk is a immigrant that doesn't pay taxes, who is a parasite off the American taxpayer.
Legal immigration, illegal immigration. If the left could impeach Elon Musk from something, they definitely would try. In fact, as of tonight, there are 2 new impeachment attempts from congressional Democrats. That's how much they care about affordability. Now, yesterday, this Democrat took a picture of himself grinning while signing articles of impeachment against the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. Today, another particularly unhinged member of Congress announced her plans to impeach RFK Jr. Why don't we impeach everybody? Take a look.
RFK Jr. has got to go. Today, I introduced articles of impeachment to remove him from office. RFK Jr. has turned his back on science, on public health, and on the American people.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.